Good morning, good morning, good morning, my friends. I apologize. I am just ripe with tech issues this morning. Ripe with personal issues, ripe with tech issues, and I am slacking on pressing all the buttons. But if you are watching, I appreciate it very much. Thank you for hanging around. Normally we go at live at 9 a.m. Central. It's now 9:24. I could rattle off a bunch of BS excuses for you, but I was just not ready. 100% was just not ready on several levels. So, you know what? This is one of those days where we're kind of dragging a little bit, okay? So, I don't care if I look like I have it all together. It's one of those days where I'm gonna have to basically dig out of my productivity hole early in the morning and uh, and be more productive as the day rolls on. You know, we have days like that. I'd like to blame the full moon or Halloween or all kinds of things, but I can't. Yeah, thanks, Robert. Man, Robert's on top of things. Exactly, Robert. Man, just some days you're just all the cylinders aren't firing, and today has been a morning of things not firing. And that's just some lessons I've learned this morning. But hey, first time watchers again, thank you very much for tuning in. It is 9. We'd like to go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We may change up the times on that a little bit, but my name is Patrick Allman, and I run an agency called Stop Doing Nothing Media, where we specialize in lead generation and lead nurturing and a lot of that digital marketing stuff you see online. And we do a show, and actually we do it. And I want to, again, I'm trying to get some feedback on something. Typically, we go live multiple times in a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. U.S. Central. And I've been looking at our stats, and like the majority of people, like 9 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday aren't necessarily the best times. So I've been thinking about switching it up to maybe like a once a week, 4 or 5 p.m. kind of thing to basically kind of get people when they're at home, they're a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more comfortable. I would love some feedback on this because I try to. One of the reasons I really do love digital marketing is things like this, is getting feedback and adjusting what I do based on that. We love to run ads here. You know, we run a lot of Facebook ads, a lot of Google ads. And just one of the things I like about ads is it's a way to get feedback really fast on something. And I couldn't think of an ad to run for something like this. So I'm probably going to end up pulling up my email list. But yeah, I just want to know what's at the best convenient time for you to learn, personal and business productivity type items. I don't know. I'm just trying to, Mark, my man, good to see you too. I am just trying to make sure that I have a show that works best for the people in the absolute best time that, like I said, works with their schedule. I'm pretty flexible. I can go live anytime. Let me see what has happened since the last show. So, the last show was Wednesday at 9. I was catching up after missing basically 4 shows, if you count last week when I was out of pocket. What's happened since Wednesday? First of all, voted that it was very important, and please make sure you do that. Look at that right there on the bottom of my screen in my banner rotation. Vote, 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 vote. Okay, voting is extremely important. Screw the party or the candidate that you may be loyal to. I just really don't. I have no F's to give at this particular point. I just want people to go out there and vote. And I very much used to be one of those people that thought it really didn't matter. And whenever I talk about voting on social media, I've got people that that follow me that say it still doesn't matter. People I respect, brilliant people that say it doesn't matter. And I'm like, you know what? Somebody has to vote, and somebody has to pick our candidates, and somebody has to pick our electors. And you're right. It doesn't matter if you want the system to kind of run on default. And this is my take on things. Life and business and even voting and election of officials will run an autopilot for us if we don't do something about it. Okay, if you're someone who I'll give you an example. If you're someone who runs, if you go through high school and college and or the military and you get out and get a job, your career for the most part, with very little effort on your part, will run on its own. Your promotions will just kind of happen. If you're not particularly aggressive, there are so many things in life that will run on autopilot if you do not participate. That is 100% true. And government is one of them. Government is 100% something that will run on autopilot if you don't participate. People will get jobs, lose jobs, get elected. The machine will run on its own because there are people that choose to participate. I used to very much be apathetic on this topic, and I chose not to participate. That's changed probably in the past, I don't know, 5 or 10 years. So I went yesterday. You may have seen a picture I posted online. I'm here in Oklahoma, and we have a big Oklahoma County election board. Unfortunately, I have a big piece of property, so it works really well for long lines. So I went out yesterday and voted, and it was very pleasant. It really was. As hostile as we are online and in the media and in talk shows and wherever you want to count it, one of the things I've learned about, or that I've felt about when I've voted in the past couple of years, past couple of presidential elections specifically, is how calm and nice and peaceful people are in line. And I'm curious, have you ever had that experience? It's I don't, I'm not the kind of guy to blame the media or press or anything, but the media or press reports on outliers, and oftentimes you hear about election locations that are just downright hostile and violent, and people just causing chaos. And I've never seen that here in Oklahoma City or Oklahoma County. For Oklahoma County, our election board's over on Lincoln and south of 50th, probably closer down to 36th. And it's always been such a nice experience. And the people there are just want to get people through. They've got thousands and thousands of people they have to work with. And so yesterday was early voting. So today is also early voting. So in Oklahoma here, we are in early voting mode. That was Wednesday, Thursday. It'll be today, and I believe it's half of tomorrow. And then, of course, Tuesday, I believe, is the general election, right? I don't have a calendar in front of me. Let's pull up the calendar here. I believe Tuesday is the general election, right? Election day. There we go. The 5th. The 5th is general election day. And so we're in early voting here. And if you have early voting options in your world, please, please take advantage of them. Also, if you have vote by mail options, definitely take advantage of them. So that's one thing that's happened since the last time we chatted. Let me see what else has happened since the last time we chatted. There were a couple of things on my mind I wanted to cover before I got into today's topic, and then I didn't write them down. One of them was the voting. Another one was the showtime, and there was something else big on my mind that I wanted to verbalize, and I can't remember what it was. Oh well, Halloween, obviously. Let me know how your Halloween went. Okay, we I have to admit, I'm going to confess to you guys, as healthy as I like to think I am eating, I had a Snickers bar with my morning coffee. Okay. So, I think that's allowed a little bit. You're allowed to. My goal right now is to get rid of that candy as much as possible. But the thing that I thought was cool about this Halloween versus previous Halloweens, well, in our little world here, is number one, it felt like there was a lot more people out trick or treating, which was really cool because my brilliant wife, went out of her way to decorate up the front of the house and get dressed up herself, which is more than I've ever done. Halloween tends to be one of those holidays that I just don't really get into very much. But we had a good turnout last night, and hopefully we gave away most of the candy. I don't know about you, but my goal on Halloween is to give away as much of that crap as possible. And the bowl was there this morning, and I walked by it, and there were Snickers and Twixes and all kinds of things in it. And I have to admit, I grabbed a Snickers bar, but it was a mini one. Okay, it wasn't the full size one; it was the mini ones. Speaking of which, something I've noticed in stores in the past 10 years, and this may be the old, cranky old Patrick, me getting old kind of thing, but candy bars are getting larger. Like they're making larger options. And they're making the normal options the mini or the smaller options, if you will, right? And the way I think of it is, they when I grew up, there was a Twix. There was one Twix. It was a red package. It had 4 or 6 or 8 bars in it. I can't remember, and that's all there was. And now I've seen some Mega Twix and some Mega Snickers, and I've seen the mini ones. And so I think we were just making bigger options for candy, which I just never got. Family size candy. Who needs family size candy besides a family? Hey, live a little Snickers bars are great. Hey, Blake, brother, man, good to hear from you. Is golf season wrapping up, man? Fall should be a good time for golf, right? It's golf season. Hey, everybody, meet my buddy Blake. He lives, where do you live, Blake? Maybe, I don't know, not even maybe 5 miles, 5 or 6 miles as the wind blows. And this guy is a killer golfer. This guy, if I'm not mistaken, you've done some like senior PGA qualifications or something, haven't you, Blake? Any golfers in the house? You guys need to follow Blake Gibson on social media. This guy is good at just whacking those balls around, man. Blake has an awesome wife, and we played some good cards together, and boys that are growing up and doing some great things. I'm paying attention, Blake. Miss you guys. We should definitely get together a poker game sometime. But yeah, live a little. I like Blake's attitude for sure. Live a little. Okay, today's topic, and I've wanted to do this one for a little while, is going to be about AI, and specifically, I was going to bring up the AI that I've been training, and and see what it knows about me. Now, I've been training it for a while, and one of the things that came out of last week when I was in Dallas at my conference is the fact that I need to do a better job about training an AI about every possible crevice and corner of my brain, and the things I like and the people I like and dislike and the things I believe in, and not even just the major stuff, just like the minor stuff and the way I like, excuse me, and the way I like to write and the things I believe in. I've just started over the past probably not even 7 days, probably even less than that. Probably more. Well, it probably would be like last Wednesday or Thursday when I started doing this. But I pulled up the Chat GPT client on my laptop, and I started just feeding it things I've written, meeting transcripts, video transcripts, transcripts of things like this. I've just started dumping stuff into it to train it on a better version of Patrick. Because at last week's event, you may have seen me talk about this. There were a couple of speakers up there, specifically the keynote speaker, Billie Jean, who gave me some ideas I had never thought about before to basically get to the point where I can use social media in a very, excuse me, use AI in a more realistic way. And I have to admit, I haven't been using AI to its full potential. If you've watched any previous shows, you know I'm one of those guys that's been kind of poo-pooing the idea. Because I do jump into most technology, but AI, I've just been kind of slow rolling. And so what I did, and what I want to do today, and I may do more of this because this is just going to be more and more part of our world, and I want to make sure that you and I do it right, is I should have, if I press the right button, I should have the Chat GPT client here. Do you fear that adding let me see. Let me read that, Robert, here a second. Yeah, yeah. So Robert, see what Robert said here. I want to make sure I give mad respect to Robert. Do you fear that adding all of your brain to IP will make it easier to do identity theft later? You know what, Robert? I'm not gonna lie, man. Probably. It probably will be. Except for I can't see me a time giving AI my social security number or any of my passwords or any of my identity information. Robert, will AI be able to talk like Patrick Allman? 100%. 100%. I've already seen it do a very good job. And what's really cool with AI is that is when it writes like you, and it's more eloquent than you are. And that's the thing I think is really surprising me. It's like AI has been able to take my thoughts and fill in some blanks and generate content that I found amazing. And so my biggest takeaway from last week is that if I use it right, I can use AI to increase my content output, which will get me to the point of where I want to have a book. Actually, I already want to have a book. It's just like all of us, it's an idea that's just turning around in my head. And I just got some ideas last week from not only from Billie Jean, but from another really brilliant copywriter named Jim Edwards. Jim Edwards, I've known of for a while. For those of you that know what ClickFunnels is, Jim Edwards was really big back in the ClickFunnels days, and he still is. But he was at the conference last week. I've just known he was a brilliant man. I've seen some of his stuff online. Jim Edwards and I had a chance to sit down on a couch in the lobby of the Statler Hotel, and Jim Edwards kind of um, laid out how he basically coaxes content out of people and gets them to write a book. And he's very methodical about it, and he's very good about it. So between Billie Jean and Jim Edwards, my gears have really been turning since last week. And yeah, Mark, gotta love Billie Jean's energy. Billie Jean's good at generating attention for the sake of attention. Can't hate that at all. Man's got game running. I pay attention to how people present Mark as much as the content. So the substance, so the fluff, I pay attention to as well as the actual content. And Billie Jean's very good at both. Man, that guy is brilliant. And let me see what Robert's saying here. Not your identity. I mean, will it make it easier for okay, not your identity. I mean, it will make easier to. Let me make sure is my screen stuff. Oh, you know what? That's the problem. I want to make sure Robert gets all kinds of mad respect here. So what's going on with the comment? Let's move this around live so we get all of Robert's brilliant words there. Nothing like playing with your video, your editing software live. Not your identity. I mean, it will make it easier to sound like you to someone else, making it more likely for them to trust someone who is not you. Oh, yeah. Interesting. So you're bringing up a different kind of identity theft, not name, social security number, birthday kind of stuff. You're bringing up the fact that if I dump a lot of my brain to AI, Robert Kennedy can then go to Robert Kennedy can then go someplace, somehow get access to my AI and build something that sounds like Patrick Allman, even though it's Mr. Kennedy. Huh. It's a problem I hadn't considered, and I don't know how well the technology works. So, like I have a Chat GPT account, and I'm just kind of curious if I make the AI smarter, um, if someone like a Robert Kennedy or like a Mark can then use the information I feed it, or is that information that I'm training AI on, is that only for my account? I believe in the back end there's like an open AI account, right? I don't know, Robert. That is a serious threat. I mean, that is a serious problem, man. You are 100% right. And this probably very much matters to you as a storyteller because you're probably really good at extracting information out of people and putting stuff in their voice and their words. And yeah, AI could probably do that. If AI knows that my style is a little bit sarcastic and I'm really into naked gun movies and puns and irony, then yeah, someone could very easily use my AI to sound like me. Very good point. And I'm just kind of curious though, what's the danger of that though? Oh, the trust. Okay, I see what you're saying there. It's the trust building that's the danger. Yeah, that's a very good point. I don't think that's a risk enough though yet, Robert, for me to not use it. Um, even to not use it. Let's see what else Robert's saying here. These guys always got brilliant stuff to say. Um, oh yeah, I can see what you're saying now. Or even if someone were to hack the AI, could they sound like you to a family member? Yes, there you go. There, Robert hit the magic bullet right there. So yes, so if I train the AI very well on my 50 some odd years of life, and if I am on the phone with a family member acting like I'm in distress and I need help or I want them to do something for me, I could sit here in this AI bot, which is kind of in the background of the screen here, and I could pretend I'm Patrick Allman, get information out of it that I could then communicate over the phone to make someone believe that it was me. Yes, that could 100% happen. Um, I don't know what the safeguards are for that. I'd love some information or some discussion on that. And now you've got me concerned, Robert. So thanks for putting a fear in my head I didn't know I had before, brother. Fist bump to you. No, I'm just kidding. Um, that's a good question. And I wonder how we can prevent that. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, so if I'm like kidnapped and somebody wants to ransom me off, they could pretend, not only could they pretend to be me in terms of um even sort of like not only could they pretend to be me in terms of just information I know, but with voice AI on the up and up. For those of us in the high level world, voice AI is becoming voice AI was already a thing. It's just getting better. It's just getting better and better and better. And yeah, imagine if somebody. So now here's the nightmare scenario, um, that I train a voice AI with my tone and inflection to sound just like me, because that's coming. That is 100% coming. Okay, and the knowledge base AI. And yeah, all you need now is you combine all that with the visual AI. Like there are apps out there that will take um that will take my visual representation and create an avatar out of me. So yeah, yeah. Mark, I saw your comment. I just want to talk about the AI a little bit more with Cody Shear. I know Cody Shear is a pretty brilliant guy. The context we provide to AI, GPT at least, which is what I'm using, and that's, by the way, something that's been taking me a week to figure out, is my first challenge with AI is which model do I use? Okay, and I've been asking people that I know, like, and trust, should I go the Claude route or should I go the OpenAI/GPT route? And I was looking at a lot of the tools I use, the ClickUps, the HighLevels, the Get Levi. Is that what I have over here open? Hey Levi, I have open, and most of the ones I use either OpenAI or GPT. So that's the route I'm going down. That's the path I'm committing to. I'm not poo-pooing Claude or anything, but Um, um, uh, I am just oh goodness gracious. Okay, we've got some brilliant people in this discussion here. This sounds like a panel we need to have at some point in time. Cody said here, the context we provide to AI, GPT at least, thank you, Cody, is not used as a knowledge base for others, only you. But Cody, how do you protect that? So that's my question, Cody, is based on what Robert's saying there, is how do you protect that? Um, if I'm feeding stuff into here, like, if I come over here and I say, um, if I come over here to my GPT and I say, um, uh, does Patrick, come here and say, does Patrick like to exercise? And yes, Patrick places a heavy emphasis. So if I ask it a simple question like that, Cody, how do we how do we prevent that information from being used by somebody else? Because in a very basic framework of what Robert's saying, is someone could take simple information like this and pretend to be me and communicate with my mom, who's up in the Seattle area, and my mom's already been scammed online once. How could somebody use this? How could I ensure that this information is only accessible to me and not to somebody from the outside? Because the information's in there, right? If I train an AI system or a GPT system on my information, the information is in there and out of my brain, off my computer. How do I prevent somebody else from using it, kind of thing? Um, Let me see here. To be fair, I can replicate even things you have before. So let me catch up on comments here. Uh, Oh, let's see. Robert was saying, didn't mean to create fear, just asking questions that will always create tension with how. And Robert, this is a very good question, man. I appreciate you asking this because the all of us here chatting right now, we are the ones that we are the super nerds that are going to basically show other people how to use this as a result. Okay, and we super nerds have to be the first ones to make the ground rules. Okay, and I'm not even sure I'm a super nerd at this point. Um, but those really nerdy people are the ones we're gonna have to be the ones that make all the rules, okay? And yeah, let's see what Charles says here. Um, Robert's reasoning exactly why the FTC and TCPA started making laws and rules for voice AI calls back in February. Very cool. Okay. Thank you, Charles. I didn't realize that was going on. And I was hosted, I didn't host, I was on a webinar the other day with Anik Singhal, who has a lot of experience with the FTC, and he brought up some very good points. I wish I could remember what it was. I think Anik's in our world also. He's a huge partner with HighLevel, but he's got his share of experience with FTC and how you just do not want to run foul of them. So Mark, yeah, Claude is awesome, but I also use GPT, OpenAI. Um, I don't get what is this? What is this, Charles? I don't. What is this right here? I don't get this. Wavy pants. I don't. I must be missing. Wavy jeans, high jeans, high five jeans. I don't get that one. Robert, help me understand that there. Um, Michael, I spent a few hours. Let me see here. I spent a few hours creating a GPT. Now it will save me 68 hours every time I use it. Super powerful. Michael, what did you create it on? Out of curiosity, did you first of all, are you an OpenAI person or a Claude person? And I've noticed there's another friend of mine, Beth Zeisnitz, Beth Z, our nerdy best friend. Robert and I are joint friends with her, and she's deep in this world. She experiments with everything AI related, and she's taught me that with GPT, it's not just one massive thing. You can create different bots with different purposes. And again, I'm behind the curve on this stuff. I'm just trying to figure out how to do that. I'm kind of curious when you see you created a GPT, Michael, what did you create that particular GPT to do? Because I'm learning that you can have different GPTs. Okay. Um, Levi, Levi pants, OpenAI, Levi. Oh, Levi. Hey, Levi. Oh, hey, Levi. Got it. Yeah. See, Charles, not on the ball today. Just got it. Hey, Levi. Got it. Okay, and I should know that. I grew up in Levi's. Okay. Um, okay, so you created an OpenAI. Okay, so session isolation. So I guess what we're saying here is it's going to be possible for me in AI to do something like, say, the Hey Levi, got it. Yeah, sorry about that, Charles, man. Um, I guess what you're saying, Mike, Cody, is that I can. So this session I have behind me back here, this you can see that I have the Chat GPT client behind all my screens here. What you're saying is I can somehow isolate this information and all the memory it created, because when you look in the back end of my when you look in the back end of this, I was looking the other day, there are things that I'm training it on now that it's remembering. And there's like a place back in the back end where it says, "Oh, I memorized this," or "I saved this," or "memory update," or something like that. I'm guessing that's what you're referring to. Private memory for personalized interactions. Okay, so hopefully that's what I'm doing right now. Hopefully on the back end on my Chat GPT, when it's remembering stuff, I'm that's all private, and that's not the public stuff. Because this is and again, I'm just getting an education real time here. I have no idea how this isolation works. I have no idea how to create separate GPTs. Uh, oh, look at this. See, Michael's doing some cool things we all need to follow. The GPT takes a Zoom transcript and creates a detailed 5-section report. It gets about 85 to 90% complete. So, Michael, basically, you recreated like an otter, or like what I use, a Fireflies, because Fireflies joins every single Zoom meeting I'm on. I don't have to feed it; it just happens. And like 5 minutes after the meeting's over, I get a report. I get a summary. I get a section by section breakdown. I get a list of to dos, and I think that is brilliant. I just wish I could tie that over to ClickUp, which is my project management, and I want I want that after Fireflies creates that list to create the appropriate tasks in ClickUp, and I have yet to figure out how to do that. Um, so I'm curious if that's what you're doing. If that's what you're doing there, Michael, Cody. Yeah, it's all in the privacy policy. Yes, it's automatically isolated. Yeah, and that's where we're gonna have to trust some of these companies like OpenAI to be able to. Obviously, we have to trust them with this information, but not just the information, but who has access to it while making sure that we have access to our own information. And what happens? Here's another question: what happens to that information when I die? If I train that GPT very well, and I could pass on, 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days. What happens to that information? Will it stay there forever? Will, if I don't update it, will eventually leak out into the public to where it can be tapped into? Is there a way for my loved ones to basically go in and say, "Hey, OpenAI company, please remove all of Patrick's information out of your database"? Um, let me see. Let me see what's Cody saying here. I didn't realize, Cody, you were so sharp on this stuff, man. Thank you for contributing. For instance, I have more than one GPT in same account. Let's say the one for my biz and the one for my dumb question. So, Cody, are you saying, like, in this Chat GPT interface I have right here? So are you saying there's a way for me to basically come here and say I want a different. Okay, so here we go. We have different GPTs. So I guess what you're saying is I can come in here and I can create separate ones. Then I can switch in between them to feed it questions. Um, is that what you're saying? I'm just kind of curious. And yeah, Fathom does that too. Fathom does that too, Charles. And I was a Fathom person, and then I switched over to Fireflies just because it's so much more automatic, and the summaries are just so much better. Yeah. See, Cody's full of all kinds of ideas. Make a bot of you, tie it to a phone number that your loved ones can call you forever. Because that's what I want, Cody. I want my great, 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 great grandchildren getting phone calls of me in my voice with my thoughts like several hundred years down the line. That wouldn't be scary at all. That would be a good Halloween prank. That would be a good Halloween prank right there. Oh, ooh. I wonder. Oh, my gears are turning. I think the coffee's kicking in. My gears are turning on how you could use some really creative things on AI and Halloween if you really want to scare the crap out of kids. Come up with some kind of thing on your front porch where people could come up and talk to the AI and ask them questions. and then basically very personalize how you scare kids. That would be that would be funny right there. I'm all about scaring the kids, right? Let me see. I'm just kind of catching up on the comments here. Private memory for personalized. Cody, I'm curious. Does your bot, and is it possible for what you're talking about, this transcription and setting up of the setting up a oh, here we go. And this is of interest to me, Michael. This isn't a summary, it's a detailed project scope document. The meaning, I get how they operate and how they want to operate. Then the GPT releases a scope of project work document on how to improve the process. You know, it'd be cool, Michael. This is, like I said, we haven't talked a lot, but this is coming to me really, really fast, and this is how. And Charles knows this. I'm getting ready to invest in a Hey Levi account so I can start using GPT to do some of the things you're talking about. And I'm curious, is there like a certain set of things you ask in the Zoom meeting that the AI knows to pick up on to create the project scope document? Because it would be really cool, Michael, is if I could come up with a standard list of 5 to 20 questions that I ask in every single onboarding call that basically does what you're talking about here. And I'm just this close to doing this. So once I start investing in Hey Levi and I start using this to build my client personas, can I do that? Is that what you're doing, Michael? I'm kind of curious and I'm thinking about this because that just sounds really freaking brilliant. Because one of the first things I do in an onboarding call right now is, just pull information out of people as much information as possible I can, and then I'm going to use that to generate AI content and all kinds of cool stuff. So is that what you do, Michael? Out of curiosity. Um, and Mark says, I have a separate thread in GPT for all my clients. I save as much detail in the threads and create all the stuff. Yeah. See, Mark, you might want to look at Hey Levi because I was planning on doing what you do right there. As I didn't know how I was going to do it yet, is I discovered this. I was always going to use GPT to start creating these separate things. However, I'm trying to be as lazy as possible. Okay. And through, I can't remember how, but somehow I found out about Hey Levi, which is an extension of the Extendedly product. And Hey Levi does what you're talking about, Mark, except for you don't have to worry about the prompts anymore. Hey Levi, you basically go up and set things, you basically almost like you onboard the client into the GPT. And then and then basically, Hey Levi has sections that are already predefined. Like if once you train it, there's a place there, okay, now I'm going to develop a new product, a new coaching product, or a new storytelling product. The GPT can automatically build it without any prompts. And that's the cool thing that looks about Halide to me is the open AIs of the world and the chat GPTs of the world. These are the level 1 tools. Okay, you have to be really good with your fingers, just like back in the day with operating systems. You see, kids these days don't know how easy they have it. Is anyone here old enough to remember when operating systems weren't all cute with trackpads and mouses and windows and drag and drop and extended monitors? Remember when a computer used to boot up and all you'd get after the computer booted up was C:\\, and you had to type. You had to type to control the computer. That was like level 1 of operating systems. Now with things like Mac OS and Windows, we've got these really cushy operating systems. Sometimes I feel like AI is like that. AI is the chat GPTs of the world um, are basically like level 1, and then like the Hey Levi's are like the level 2 or the level 3, where we don't need to basically get good at prompts. Um, I'm just kind of curious. Does anyone else feel like that? Let me see. What does Mark say here? Hey Levi is cool. I use it a bit. I just have too many subscriptions. I just have GPT pull everything from their website and transcripts. Okay, got it, Mark. Cool. Um, let me see. What did Michael say here? The main goal of the meeting is for me as a consultant to get all their info about how they're running their business. Then after that, I find holes that can be plugged into the AI. Okay, but I'm just kind of curious, Michael. Do you have like a fixed list of questions you go through, or is it just kind of an open-ended discovery? Is that how you're getting that information out of them? Because, like I said, this is something that's going to come in my face. It's going to come into my world pretty fast with Hey Levi. Yeah, yeah, Charles. Back in the day, man, I was the guy. I was a CPM user. I was a DOS user. I remember, loading and saving my programs on cassette drive. Again, you kids have it so easy these days. But goodness gracious, I just realized I didn't get into the AI as much as I wanted to. But hey, it's a cool background right there, right? This is artificial Patrick. This is Patrick on top of AI. But yeah, what you're doing, Michael, is really smart, and I want to start doing that. Which is why I'm going to get into things like the Hey Levi. Right now, I have the single version of Hey Levi. Probably upgrade to the agency version here pretty soon, and start using it more and more with my clients. Um, what's really cool is I'm actually getting ready to onboard another client who proactively gave me a bunch of documents about his content and his methodology and things like that. And I'm just excited to start feeding all of that into some kind of tool. Hey Levi, whatever, Chat GPT, Claude, whatever it is. Well, probably Chat GPT, knowing me. And use that to generate his ad copy and his sales page copy and all kinds of cool things. So that's just where I am when it comes to AI. And I just didn't realize that, wow, I've got all these brilliant people that follow me that have all kinds that basically are one step ahead of me, which is who I need to be learning from right there. So I need to start paying more attention to what Michael and Mark and Cody are doing when it comes to AI. Open discovery. Okay, this sounds like the way I would probably work. I don't know if it's the best though. Open discovery. Then I upload the transcript. I tell the GPT how many people on the call. I tell it who the consultant is. Okay, yeah. So, and I guess what I'm doing with Firefly is kind of the sum of this. It's just probably not at the depth that Michael is doing with his custom work, because my transcript comes with knowing who initiated the phone call, what their to dos are, what the summary of it was. Um, I could probably do a better job about taking that transcript and putting it into a full on GPT. So someone needs to learn how to program their GPT, and that's going to be me. Uh, Claude is better for copywriting info. And Mark, I've heard that also. And that was initially the way I was leaning. Also, was Claude. But then again, what I did is I had to survey what I was using. Number one, I don't want to pay for too many tools, but also I was looking at all the tools I was using and what they use as the back end. Believe I dug into ClickUp. ClickUp uses OpenAI as the back end. HighLevel uses OpenAI as the back end. If I'm not mistaken. Hey Levi uses OpenAI as the back end, and I'm eventually going to have to basically pay for OpenAI or ChatGPT. So I was just trying to kind of stay in line using the same tool set there, which is why I ended up going with the OpenAI version of everything. Let's see what Charles is saying here. You and I need to hop on a call and go over Hey Levi and how my clients use it. Yeah, 100%. That would be something very cool. Or Charles, we've also talked before about just doing a live stream like this. And just give the reins to you, give the keyboard to you, and you can show me how. You can show everyone how you're using it. Right there. Okay, Cody, thank you for clarifying that, man. Didn't realize you were doing some brilliant stuff on this. Is this some of the stuff that you've done, Cody? Is this on your YouTube channel that people could watch, or live streams on your Facebook, man, that people could watch? Because that would be brilliant. Because I am definitely in like open AI consumption mode. Oh, and there is a comment I wanted to bring up earlier, which I saw. Let me see here. It was nothing to do with AI. Let me see here. It was a Billie Jean comment. It was back. We use it. Didn't we create fear? Have you seen? Here we go. Mark. Mark, I want to talk about this for a little bit. Have you seen that Duo Studio? And say yes. I haven't seen it in person. I've seen video of it, and that is on. I'm not going to say on my bucket list, but that is something I am really aiming for. Is a really very cool video studio that works from multiple angles. And what I'm doing kind of in the background is I'm collecting equipment for it. So I've got an ATEM. If Robert's watching, he knows what that is, an ATEM Pro, which is a professional, not a professional, a mid-industry video switch is what it is. I've got a Roadcaster. So I'm basically I'm hoarding really good hardware values I buy off of Facebook Marketplace with my goal of eventually like building studios. So this camera I have here in front of me, the Sony A5100, I would like to get Well, this is an old camera, relatively speaking, in the industry, but I would like to get a couple of more really nice cameras like this and have them at different ways. I want one of those, what do you call them? The motion bars where you can put a camera on a bar and it just slowly moves back and forth with the lens adjusting where things go. I just want this eventually to expand out into a very cool video studio that can film in 360 degrees. Um, Not broadcast 360 video, but where I can have cameras from various angles, and you could, you won't see, you're just in a really good environment. So I am jealous of anybody that has a really good audio, excuse me, specifically video studio. Audio studios are easy, but anyone that has a really good video studio, I'm jealous of. If you're from the network marketing world, um, if you're from the network marketing world, here we go. Um, if you're from the network marketing world, there is a gentleman. Oh my goodness gracious, he's out in Las Vegas. Tall, is a bald white guy. I can't even think of his name. Anyway, he built a massive, massive studio in Las Vegas. Like the part of the studio literally moves. Eric, Eric something. You want to see a video studio? Go to Eric. Let me see. Eric Worry. There we go. Worry. So you want to see a studio. You want to see a studio, Mark. You want to see a studio. Go see if you can find. Here we go. I'm going to put this in the comments right here. Go see if you can find this guy's website. Warrior Studios. Go and see if you can find some of the behind the scenes videos of when they were building this Mark. This isn't this basically, no disrespect to Billie Jean, but what this guy has built out in Las Vegas, which you can now rent, puts anything Billie Jean has done to shame. It's literally, I'm like, it's and I do geek out on this stuff, but it's just a massive studio. Part of the studio moves, so you can walk inside of it. It's got massive screens. When you go over to the tech side and you look at the live streaming area and the producer booth and all that stuff, and like I'm looking at the video right now. Eric Worre built this massive studio. And what's really cool about it is you can actually rent it now. You can actually rent this if you're in Las Vegas. I'm sure it's thousands of dollars a day. But the thing partially even moves. Like I'm looking at like a video of one of their walls, one of their video walls moving back because they constructed it to be good for like some in-person events as well as some digital events. So yeah, what'd you say here, Sterling? You give me some crap, man. Mid industry, stop flexing on us. Yeah, mid industry, and you can tell how much I'm using the ATEM, right? The ATEM and the Roadcaster are two things I bought well before I needed them, so they are collecting dust. As a matter of fact, at the HighLevel conference in Dallas, I actually brought the ATEM to use for recording, and I have the lower end ATEM. I need to get the upper one. But yeah, I'm an audio video nerd. I have been since before I even knew girls existed, before I got my high school diploma. I was always an audio video nerd, so I always have more equipment than I could ever need. And I spend a little bit of time on Facebook Marketplace every single week looking for really good used deals. Like if somebody popped up a Sony A5100 or a Sony A6400 and it was a really good steal, I'd be out of this house in a heartbeat driving to pick that thing up just because those things are so cool. So yeah, I'm a bit of an audio video nerd right here. What I saw someone share something here. Oh, Michael Copeland. Let's see what Michael Copeland here has to offer. This is cool. Meet. That was for me. Meet.mscopeland.com. Let's go to Zoom and I'll show you. That'd be pretty cool, Michael. Thank you for the offer, man. Fortunately, these comments are saved and we are all connected online. Um, yeah, yeah, Mark, definitely be checking it out. Like I said, I am a I'm an audio video nerd. I didn't actually get into the OpenAI like I wanted to. I was really going to start running through some prompts here, but that's kind of my. It's been a good discussion on AI, guys. Thank you very much. This is just giving me some more things to think about, especially what Robert said when it came to privacy, and what everyone else has said when it comes to the privacy policies and how you isolate these things. because I'm not even thinking about the dangers of it yet. Okay, I'm so much in the early stages of it that I'm just trying to figure out how I can train these things properly and how I can use them to basically replicate Patrick's thoughts and mind properly. So I don't even know what I don't know yet, and this is why I follow some really brilliant people, and I'm learning. I'll be learning today. I'm sure I'll be taking some time out of my day, client work, to train my AI even more. Um, and like I said, I've actually got the Hey Levi screen up over here. Also, will I have the Chat GPT one up over here? I'll be in that today, feeding client information into it. So yeah, you know what? You guys know. Oh, you know what? I talk until the coffee's gone, right? That was the second to last sip right there. So, yeah, so I may end up, like I said, talking about the show here. I may end up switching this to more of a Wednesday evening show versus a 3 times a week show to let everyone, maybe relax a little bit more and watch from home on their TV versus being in the office and trying to be productive and having a Patrick window open while you're productive. But feedback is always welcome. Okay, you guys, it is past. I've done my hour. I didn't realize that would go through so fast. We have a bunch of brilliant people on the show. So thanks. I'm going to save the transcript from this and get some of these links. I've got some links here from Mark. I got to jump, not Mark, Michael and Charles. I got to hop on right here. I got some links that I need to go back and review for sure. But thank you guys for participating. It sounds like sometime it would not hurt for me to have like an AI panel where we can do some screen sharing and talk about the different ways that people are using it, because it would be beneficial for me. And I'm selfish when I produce content. I want to produce content that I would use as well as other people. But I think it would really be beneficial for my audience to see how this is used from the deep hardcore nerds that are building the tools that we all use. And it sounds like Cody and Mark and Michael are doing that. Okay, you guys, thanks for watching. I will probably be back on Monday at 9 o'clock if I haven't switched the show times by then. But yeah, this has been one of the better shows recently. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Let's all have a great weekend. Also, you know what? I'm looking for the right button to press. See, this is the thing about technology. Why is technology not behaving with me today? Why can't I just come over here and press this button and say, hey, you guys have a great day, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.